Hi guys, how are you? Hope you are doing good. Welcome back to the channel Agriculture Makes Strong. Today let us discuss about the important topic that is watershed management. We'll be discussing in this video. If you are new to this channel, please like, share and subscribe to the channel Agriculture Makes Strong. Let's go into the video. In this video, we will be discussing about what is meant by watershed and objectives and principles, and we will be discussing about the management of water. And let's see what is watershed. The meaning of the watershed is like the area where the land, where all the water that drains off and goes into the same place, like rivers, streams, or lakes. This is called a watershed, and the smallest watersheds are the drainage areas for the small streams and lakes. And these are the examples of the watershed, like small streams and the lakes. And think before your local area creek or river. And if you come to the watershed, here for the small streams it requires the less area of square kilometers, and for the large for the if we plan to execute the watershed in the bigger size, it will be like 1000 to 2005 hectares. And if the area is within the range, and it will be possible to prepare a well balanced plan within the 2 to 3 years for the preparing the watershed management and watershed. And if you see the objectives of the watershed management, it is like we should, and the main objective is to attempt the halt land degradation and holistic process for getting a maximum production of land. If the rainfall has occurred, and the erosion, water soil erosion has been incurred, and it is the problem for the crops in the slope areas. And this will be watershed will be it is a problem solving issue. And you can follow the watershed management. And the major objective and next major objective of the watershed management is like it implies the rational utilization of land and water resources for the production within the minimum natural resources. And coming to the slopes, and if it now we discussed about the slopes. Coming to the slopes, ensuring the optimum infiltration and percolation and solving the problem of soil erosion will be done through watershed management. And reducing the impact of the rain on the soil. If the rain has occurred heavily, and it will cause the damage to the crop or any soil, so it should be managed in right process. And checking its speed at various intervals and operations in the contour and diverting the excess to prevent the pressure. And in this process that starts at the highest point of the watershed and it ends at the right down in the lower parts of the soil. And these are the some of the objectives. And if we come to the major objectives, now we discuss the what are the advantages we'll get by making the watershed management. It will be like it gains the income and natural resources will be increased, and we can increase the physical health. The impact of natural hazards like soil erosion due to heavy rainfalls will be decreased, and the soil quality production rates will be increased, and fertility will be increased. Financial management will increase, education and self-help will increase, infrastructure also will increase through watershed management, and clean and sufficient drinking water access to sanitation will be increasing. This is the main objective of the watershed management. And these two are the main objectives, that drinking making the sanitation in the drinking water and the soil quality for the production purposes. These are the two major objectives for the watershed management. And coming to the principles of watershed management, let us discuss about in detail, like principles of water management. If we take the water management, the maintenance of quality of drinking water, as we discussed now, the drinking water will be sanitized and will be made adequate amount of drinking water. And we will be participation of local community and increasing the productivity of resources using the sustainable manner for the increase in the production of the crops. And this is stabilizing and protection of natural resources. These are the some of the major principles of water management. And coming to the steps in the watershed management, how we should make the watershed, like First step is like the preparation of base maps. We should follow the base maps and we should carry surveys of what is the region and what are the soils and different classification of the lands we should see, and accessing the rainfall characteristics, how the area and the soil getting the rainfall characteristics, and we should have the knowledge and the preparation of inventory of existing lands and uses of farmlands, and we will be carrying out like topographic and hydrological surveys for engineering works, and this will help for the engineering works, and like geohydrological survey will also delineate areas suitable for the groundwater development, and the formulation of integrated time bound plan for the moisture conservation, groundwater recharge, development of productive afforestation, agriculture production, grasslands, and horticulture, and assigning the properties for the implementation of the project. And we should make such principles and objectives for the improvement of the watershed management, and these are the steps for the improving the watershed management, accessing social cost and benefits. First, these are the steps we should maintain for the watershed management. And coming to the land capability, what land are suitable and what the classification of the lands will be like means, the class 1, the soils have slight limitations and restrict their use, and coming to the second class, they are having moderate limitations and reduce the choice of plants, and coming to the third class, it is having the severe limitations and requires special conservation practices. If the limitations are more, if the limitations are less, the practices of conservation practices will be more. And coming to the fourth class, and the soils have very severe limitations as the class third, and coming to the class 5, the soils have no or less hazard of erosion but have other limitations, and the limit their use mainly to pasture and range forest lands and wildlife fodder and cover. These are the classes of 5 for the land capability classifications. And coming to the sixth classification, here you can see the severe limitations and the unsuited to the cultivation, for unsuited for the cultivation, and limit their use only for the pasture, range, forest, and wildlife food and cover. And for the seventh class, here also there is the severe limitations. If the severe limitations are there, you can the land is not suitable for the cultivation and it will ultimately goes to the grazing and forest lands. And class 7, class 8 also is like the soils and miscellaneous areas have limitations, and the commercial plant production and limit their use to recreation, wildlife, and water supply for the aesthetic purposes. And coming to the some of the water management activities, what should be maintained for the good water management, like first one is like contour budding. If we maintain the contour budding, it will help the water management, and checking the dams and daily control structures whether they are in the right process or not. And land leveling, land smoothing, it also helps to get the water. And bench terracing, farm ponds, percolation ponds, waterways, diversion drains, these are some of the steps to be followed for the water management activities. These are the activities, and this is about the watershed management. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.